Chicago's always been a generous city, and I think that phrase, the city of big shoulders, also extends to the generosity and the philanthropic nature of the individuals who live here, as well as the foundations and the corporations that operate here. So I think we epitomize some of the best here in Chicago of what philanthropy in a civic way really means. I think people would be surprised to know that 77% of the $9.2 billion that was contributed in Illinois in 2009 actually came from individuals. And across the country, over 80% of the $305 billion that was given nationally, philanthropically, also came from individuals. So individuals are obviously a stalwart part of our philanthropic tradition. Nonprofits are more than just programs and services too. They provide just about 10% of the private sector jobs here in Illinois, and they contribute 10%, which represents $60 billion to the gross state product. Most of the social issues that foundations and corporations or nonprofits are addressing these days are so large and so complex that it really requires that we do things in partnership and collaboration with those people and those institutions that have resources to deploy to a particular problem. So the public side of it is that the public represents governments at all levels and elected officials. The private side of this is, of course, foundations, corporations, small businesses, and individuals to address a particular issue. I think one of the most visible and perhaps unprecedented private-public partnership in recent times is Millennium Park. It's just a shining example of what a public-private partnership can achieve, and that one in particular just seems like a contemporary rendition of the tradition of our city founders in making bold moves and bold initiatives such as the Burnham Plan. And of course, a more recent and timely and somewhat quieter public-private partnership is emerging around the very important issue of returning veterans and the assistance, the whole range of assistance that they and their families need. And I think we'll be hearing a lot more about that in the city of Chicago, and foundations and the public sector are really leading the conversations about how we as a society help those that have paid so much for their service on behalf of all of us. But the real value of philanthropy in the nonprofit sector is the impact on our quality of life. Through those donations from corporations and foundations and individuals, nonprofit organizations are able to impact and address every facet of life here in Illinois, from conducting research to cure disease, to providing health care for our parents, after-school care for our kids, lifting our spirits through art and architecture, as well as providing job training for family and friends who probably have lost their jobs. So they're absolutely vital to our democracy as well. And nonprofits are not just catalysts for philanthropy either. They are conveners. They engage people. This is a hub of civic engagement. They bring together people of different races and backgrounds and beliefs and ages and incomes and abilities to discuss the important matters that face our city.